Cages, I get to know my grandfather, James Oemler, at a very young age. I know he's a very caring and loving grandfather. But every afternoon after he eat dinner, he will save a portion of his meal for all of his grandchildren. At that time, was living with mommy, which was Rosada. We had Mary Jane, myself, Kelvin, Marjorie, and Dave. And he makes sure he used to save a portion of the meal for us. We bond together, and we were a loving family. We used to go in the field together, and then after me and Kelvin and Dave get of age, we used to go fishing together. So we were the providers of the house for mommy, because there was no elderly person, only grandpa was there. So on Saturday we would make sure that we go fishing, and we would have fish and conch for us to eat on a Sunday morning. And Sunday morning, growing up in North Cages, then there used to be all kind of different bread, along with either you got steamed fish or stew fish, or conch. There were the good days that I can remember growing up in North Cages. Eventually, afterwards, when I grew up, at the age of 16 after leaving school, I first went to Nassau to go to school at the C.R. Walker Technical College there. I went there for a year. For some reason, I wasn't cutting it there, and I came back home and I joined the police force. I remained in the police force for some 38 years. I acquired the rank of Assistant Commissioner of Police, sometime acting as Commissioner of Police, till I retired in 2007. I have always attended the Oemler family reunion, which I'm glad to be a part of the chosen generation, as we call it. We are, a loving and caring family, and we get together good, and I will always encourage us, let's keep this tradition together. Let us always see if we can meet together in a family where we can share ideas and talk with the old days and the new days and what's happening in the family. Thank you for the time for bringing me this interview. Thank you.
Just want to ask you a few questions. Growing up closely knit with your family back in Turks and Caicos, when everybody is growing up and leaving Turks, what was the atmosphere like?
Well, at that time, Turks was less development going on there. In the Caicos Island where we was from, everybody wanted to leave from it because there was, farming. That was, the only thing that was going on there. So, at that time, then when you become a young man or a young woman, you wanted to look and, see if you could develop some kind of profession rather than, farming. So, everybody would migrate from especially from North Caicos, and go abroad.
Now, you grew up very closely with your brothers, and then your brothers decided to go off, and eventually Halbert went to the States, and Dale followed closely behind. What kept you in the Caribbean?
From the time I joined the police force, I find there's a challenge there. When I look at the rank in the police force, I think after I have been there for like 3 years, I was promoted to the rank of corporal. And I could see myself advancing, I was hoping I could have been a commissioner of police then. So I find myself every 5 years or so, once you work good, then you could get another stripe. And at that time, growing up in the police force, I think a rank was just equivalent as, making money. And, I think after then I got promoted to sergeant of police, and then I went to inspector and assistant superintendent, and then on to assistant commissioner. So that, something I had enjoyed. I enjoyed my days in the police force, and that's what kept me.
Okay, so you were career oriented and you stayed in Turks.
Yes.
Okay, but you have children who basically live all over the place.
No,
well, not all over the place though. You have some in Turks and you have some in the States?
Some. I have one in the States.
Okay.
And the majority of my children, they are in Turks.
So that's Chernel.
Chanel is the only one that lives in the state.
Okay, all right. You got that correct. And Kanisha and everybody else is still in
Turks with me.
was in Turks. Now, okay. Now coming up with your kinfolk in Turks, back in the day with Rosita and Grandpa Oemler. Did how much has Turks changed from then to this point now? Whereas you've already worked your career, now you could, let's say, sit back and take your hat off a little bit. How much has Turks changed since then?
Well, Turks has changed tremendously. When I say that, growing up, there was no electricity per se. Man. Now we live in a modern day society now. We have all the amenities and everything that we wanted.
Are the family values still there like they were back in the day? The togetherness.
Yeah, it's there. Like a place in North Caicos. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody looks out for everybody. And if they feel, or people who have something, like if somebody growing something in their backyard, and they will share with you. Say, well, I'm growing this, and they will give it to you. So I still find North Caicos to be a close knit society where everybody loves everybody and everybody looks after everybody. After leaving, after retiring from the police force, a lot of folks figure I would have either came or to the States where my daughter or where my brother's at. But I decided not to go to Provo, leave Grand Turk, and I went to the North Caicos where I was born. Everybody still asks me how I make it there. But I just love the peace and quietness there where everybody likes everybody. And, we get along, very, very nice. Like me, so although I'm still working, but, I find myself in the house of the Lord like every other Sunday. When I'm not working, I will go to church.
How important is religion in Turks and Caicos?
Oh, it is. We are a very religious society over there.
Now, through your years working in the police force and working on the police force and growing a family of your own, was there any point in time where you felt any regret you didn't follow any of your brothers?
No. And why I say that, because every 2 years or so when I go on vacation, I always will come and visit my brothers in New York. We will spend 1 or 2 months together. We'll bind and enjoy life. And then I will go back home and start working with the other part of my family over there.
All right, that's good. Now, the reunions, I assume you've been to all the reunions?
Yes, I went to everyone.
Okay, this is like my third reunion. The cruise I didn't go to, I went to Canada. But during the reunions, there are a lot of people in the first reunion, and till now, they're no longer with us. Anybody in particular stand out in your mind? Some of those that we've lost?
Yes, one is Auntie Wayoni. In fact, when I went to school in Nassau in 1972, it was my auntie Patrina in Wayoni that I live with. And we always keep a close bond together, because I remember a number of times when I went on vacation, I went and I visited her in Nassau, spend a day or two with her, and we talk over, the days back when I used to go to school with her. So she's somebody that I really, bond with. I miss her a lot, and also my auntie Patrina, So they are the two persons that, I was from the reunion.
Now, Cousin Clarke, what would you say to the future generation would be watching this video to encourage them to keep the Oemler legacy going on, to encourage them to keep the family reunion something relevant with the family for years to come?
Yeah. Well, I like the theme of this year, which say the Oemler chosen generation. And I would like to encourage all of the Oemler clans, or the offspring, that the Oemler, is not a household name per se, in the Turks and Caicos or in the world. I think as it stands now, there is no male Oemler or one male Oemler living
Herbert.
now, which is Herbert. And I think he's of age, and there's a certain chance that there will be another male Oemler in the family. So I would encourage all the other families, let's keep this tradition, the Oemler family reunion, let's keep this going.
Now, what about the family that we have out there that who are out there, but we have no idea who they are? I mean, is there particular family members that have you have not seen in years that might be watching this video? I mean, if there are some of them out there, what would you say to them?
Yeah, there are some family members that out there.
Feel free to call names.
Oh no, I wouldn't call any names.
Okay.
But it might take up about another 10 minutes calling the names.
Oh,
Family. The
wow.
family is so big. So
Wow.
I will encourage them. Let's get together. Plan for the next family reunion so we can meet and greet and have a wonderful time and we can us who've been attending this for so long we can tell you some things that we know about Grandpa and make the family united again.
Okay, speaking about Grandpa, is there any particular story about Grandpa you want to share with us? Something that stick with you through the years.
What I could remember from, I know he was very and kind. What I used to do back then, I was the one who every Sunday, Saturday afternoon, when I baked the bread, I was the one who used to go and pick up the bread and bring it over there for him, and when I bring it for him, then he can cut, he can give me my slice of it, man.
Tell me about his shoes. They said, I think Hulbert said that he had some different type of shoes made from tire.
Oh yeah, you call that wampus.
Wampus.
Yeah, wampus.
Wampus.
Yeah, you take the tires, and you cut it to the size of your foot, and you get some strings, and you put it, in it, and you work with it.
So that's shoes they make themselves.
Make themselves, yeah.
You ever wore wampus?
No, I never wore wampus.
Okay, that's for his generation. They wore wampus. Okay. Now to encourage the family who may be thinking about their next vacation. Tell them something about Turks and Caicos that would probably, encourage them to come down.
Well, Turks and Caicos have been recently, the talk is the Turks and Caicos. I know there are very few Oemler family haven't been to the Turks and Caicos yet. And those who haven't been, I would encourage them to come. And those who have been there before, I would encourage them to come again because, there's a lot, things that we can talk and we can show you, especially in North Caicos. And if you come to Northern Mill, because Northern Mill now, you call that the Twin Island. And I know there's, some sites over there where we have found recently where you can go and look and, you'd be amazed to see what it is in the Turks and Caicos. So I would encourage all the family members to make it a part of your life in the next couple of years to visit the Turks and Caicos.
What do you, as an individual, as one of the senior members of this family now, as one of the patriarchs of the family, what are you looking forward to for the next family reunion?
Well, I am looking for a bigger crowd, number one, and I'm looking that we can go to a place where everybody agreed, that is, the place where we should go and, we just have fun and everybody be happy and, make this to be one of the best reunion that we have.
All right, Cousin Clarke, thank you very much. I do appreciate you taking the time out and give us a good talk. You really spoke about the get-togetherness of the family, and again, you touched on Grandpa James Oemler, and everybody speaks about the type of man he was. That he was very kind, and in ways a soft-spoken man. He really cared for the children that he lived with. But there's one more thing I want to ask you, Baba. Why it seems that every person who grew up in Turks and Caicos has this Ba or this Baba or something to their name. Like they always have a little, fixation or some type of nickname for you. Was that some generation thing or is that a Turks and Caicos thing?
I believe it's a generation thing. Usually if your brother is older than you, they will call him Baba. If you have a sister which is older than you, they will call him sister. You know what I mean? So there was always, you know, some alias to the name that you actually were giving.
Does that continue today?
Not that much as before. You know, and today, you know, they find a different, we call it a nickname for you. You know, so if your name, take for instance, I know, if somebody's name was those shoes, they will try to pronounce that differently rather than be S-H-O-E. They will say S-H-U-Z or something like that.
Shoes.
So, so everything is different from before. You know, they just find nickname for, everybody as you're born, they give you a nickname rather than a different name.
All right. Thank you very much, Cousin Clarke, and I look forward for us to get back together the next 2 years at the next family reunion, and you can tell me about all your escapades in Turks and Caicos, and you can tell me about some of those things that you don't even want to mention right now.
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, I would like to encourage as much as the family as possible, to join the next family reunion. And one family in particular, I know Herbie. This is probably the first one he had missed. Herbie, we miss you from this family reunion, and I hope that, we will see you and family on the next one.
All right, thank you. That's a personal invitation out there. So everybody who hears it knows he's not just talking about one person, but he's talking to everybody. Let's try to make it happen. Let's try to keep it going. And next biannual, the 8th reunion, we hope to see Cousin Clarke there, myself there, and everybody else there.
Left last, I will be there.
All right, thank you, man.